FromAHatPodcast@gmail.com. Dom's very late to the recording. Cartoon characters telling you that they have committed sex crimes.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's like, hey, I'm a registered sex offender.
Why? Why?
Welcome to From a Hat, the show where we draw a topic out of the hat, just like it says in the title. I'm Ben.
I'm Dom.
I'm Phoenix.
Hey guys.
We weren't quite there. Your fucking jumper
I
is
know.
your headphone. It pisses me off.
Fine, I'll take it off.
You look like you're... No!
Yeah.
This is worse!
Yeah.
He's wearing a crop top.
With an anime girl on it that says, let's do lewd things.
So I don't care about that, I care about the crop top.
If anyone wants to do lewd things,
Uh-huh.
I'm wearing the crop top for it,
Yeah.
so, you know.
Okay,
Draw out of the hat, though.
will do. With
Just
pleasure.
slide into those DMs. I'm very lonely.
Why don't you tell them your Twitter handle, then fuckwit?
Okay, what's a better use for the TARDIS?
Okay. This is a Doctor Who theme?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, can I use, instead of that, I'll just use the song like, Doctor Who! Hey! The TARDIS, Doctor Who!
Oh, is that-
Hey! The TARDIS, Doctor Who!
Is that,
Hey!
is that Charlie Is So Cool Likes band?
I don't know. I don't think
No,
it is.
I don't know.
I know it's not, Chameleon Circuit,
That's
which is
the
that
band. I hate that
I'm
band.
sad that I know that.
That's a
But I
bad
mean, if you love Doctor Who, I'm
I
sure
don't.
you don't. And you say the Doctor Who theme, but there's variations on the Doctor Who theme. Like, they turned up the bass in the more recent ones, I think. Or they turned it down. I can't remember. I haven't actually watched Doctor Who since halfway through Matt Smith's run.
Fun fact! I used to be really fucking big into Doctor Who, and then I realized one day that I fucking hate it.
Yeah, dude, exactly the same.
How good? High five!
Yeah. I genuinely love...
That was a really good sounding high five, by the way.
My uncle made us watch the first episode of David Tennant and Rose.
Oh, God.
And I...
Is that where they go to the future with the cat people?
That's a good episode.
No.
Oh, so the Christmas one.
That's one of the
Yes.
only episodes I've ever seen is the cat people.
Yes, because that's why we watched it, is we were all at my grandma's house for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, Christmas special, fuck.
Yeah, so we watched that Christmas special, and then I didn't see a single other episode of Doctor Who until later that series was the finale. The finale, is that?
Yeah, that's right.
That sounded like a weird word for a second. The finale with the Daleks and the Cybermen and Rose and David Tennant. That was Rose's last season. And we watched the two-parter. That was the end of that, and I fell in love with Doctor Who, and I loved it all the way up until I loved it up until Matt Smith came through, and then I didn't like it, but I didn't stop watching until Amy left.
I was in high school. I was of the opinion that Doctor Who was a nerdy show, and I was a cool dude.
Yeah.
And then eventually Will convinced me to watch one episode of the show and see if I actually liked it, because he's like, you'll probably enjoy it, you fucking loser. And I was like, fine, when's it on? He goes, Sunday, ABC, enjoy. So, the first episode I ever watched was Silence in the Library Part 1.
Yeah. Good app.
And I was like, this is great!
Yeah.
And I just kind of fell into it from there. I hated in hindsight, I hate every minute of it. But now, I watched right up until the end of Capaldi's, I want to say, second season? The one where every single episode was a two-parter.
Oh, I didn't make it that far.
Yeah. I made it quite a ways
Yeah.
before I was like, I'm done. Like, there was a year gap, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm staying out.
But it's a sad thing too, because early in high school, Doctor Who was my favourite TV show.
Yeah.
And it's sad to lose something like that, but and so, like, I watched a bunch of the stuff from before David Tennant, even though that's when I got into it. And then, and I liked all that. And then, for some reason, like, once Matt Smith came on, I know they also changed head writers. Stephen Moffat became the head writer, whereas he used to just, like, write special episodes. Because he wrote Blink, which everyone thinks is, like, the best modern...
He also wrote Silence in the Library, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah.
So, the 2 episodes that that a lot of people like, those were fucking amazing.
Yeah. But then he became the head writer, and I was of the opinion, I was like, this is the reason I don't like the show anymore, is that he can write a really good one-off here and there, but he can't be the head writer for the show, because it's just dropped in quality. And so eventually I stopped watching. Once Matt Smith regenerated, going past his, like, 13th regeneration and not dying, that I felt like I knew they were going to do something like that, but the way they handled it, I just thought was a complete cop-out, and I was like, I don't like this show anymore. And then went years without watching it. Watched the occasional Peter Capaldi there. I think he was good.
Yeah, I loved his work. I couldn't.
Show.
Yeah. I also watched a lot of the stuff that happened. I've watched a lot of New Who. Yeah. Because I like it better. Yeah. Well, I liked it better.
Yes. I'm on board, man.
Like, I really enjoy John Sims' The Master, even though I admit those episodes are really fucking convoluted.
Yeah.
And I just I didn't dislike how they got around Matt Smith regenerating into another Doctor, because they have established in the lore that regenerations, for some reason, come in packs of, like, 13.
Yeah.
So I was okay with them being like, yeah, we just gave him another batch.
Yeah.
But even then,
like, I was already... grocery store, bought himself a packet of 13.
I was already...
That's what it felt like!
Like, I was already on the way out by that point. And I just kind of... I think a lot of what had to do with me getting out of it was I didn't... Because I got into it in high school, so you'd watch it on the Sunday and then you'd be able to talk about it the next day at school. I didn't have that environment anymore. I couldn't, go to my mate the next day after watching the episode and talk about it. I'd have to, because we were all busy, I'd, wait a week, and even then, I'd have to sat and stewed on it for a fucking week, and be like, So I got sick of it eventually, and I was like, I don't want to put up with this anymore. Why am I watching this show that makes me sad and mad? Not sad, just mad.
Just mad.
Which is why a lot of the shows I watch I end up falling out of.
But, when I stopped watching it, I still had friends at school that were watching it and talking about it. I just didn't like it anymore. And eventually they fell off too. But then it got to... Very recently, in fact, just late last year, I was like, you know what? I loved that show. I'm going to rewatch some of the episodes that I liked when I started watching it. And I rewatched what I thought was my favourite episode, the double episode with David Tennant and Rose, the series finale. Because that's what really got me into it.
I remember having that episode on DVD and loving the shit out of it.
Yeah, and I rewatched it. Didn't think it was very good.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that every now and again I'm like, I should rewatch this. And be like, nope, that's better in memory.
Yeah, just leave it. Just leave it, bro.
Just leave it, man.
Just leave it.
It's better in your memory. I really like Torchwood, which is the spin-off of Doctor Who. That's how deep I got. I loved all the spin-offs. Mm-hmm. And I keep thinking to myself, I should rewatch Torchwood. And be like, no, you shouldn't. It's way better in your memory.
Just leave it.
There a spin-off with a dog?
Yeah, Canine Adventures.
Yes, Canine Adventures.
Which was a spin-off of Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yes, Sarah Jane. Oh, man, it's all coming
Which was
back.
a spin-off of Doctor Who.
I didn't actually mind Sarah Jane Adventures. I remember when it started, someone was like, I don't think it's very good. And I was like, I know, I like it.
But yeah. So, now that we've done Phoenix, do you have any...
Doctor Who.
I watch Doctor Who once a year for the Christmas special. Because it's an event with the friends. We all get together and watch the Christmas special. My opinion on Doctor Who is that it is fine. It's not wonderful. It's not the best show ever. I'll watch it. I go, yeah, that was a good episode. Uh-huh. See you next year.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good way to watch Doctor Who.
The first episode I ever watched was the one with the cat people and the face of Bo and the skin lady.
I fucking love the face of Bo. It's a big face. Even now, as a guy who hates Doctor Who, I fucking love that big face in a jar.
I remember...
It's a big face in a jar. It's great.
beautiful face in a jar.
It's the dumbest thing ever. I love it.
I was at my friend's place. This is in primary school. I think the Wii had just come out.
Yeah.
And he invited me over to play Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games or something like that.
Yeah. Classic.
We were playing the game, and then he was like, hey, do you want to watch Doctor Who? I was like, I've never seen it before. And he was like, here's an episode. Put that episode on. I was like, this is weird.
It's weird.
Was this Will?
No.
Oh, okay.
This was before Will.
This is weird. He's like the gateway drug for us.
So I watched that, and then the next time I watched it was in year 8 when we were learning about horror in English. And
That's
we watched
right.
Blink.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was good. And Will was like, you could watch more of it. And I went, I'm not going to.
Not going to.
I have a feeling that Blink would hold up.
Yeah, Blink probably does hold up.
It's pretty well done.
Like, it's very good. I remember being very scared of Blink.
Yeah, I mean, I was a kid at the time, but I was very scared.
Yeah, I was a dumbass, but
Anyway, I watched the Shakespeare episode recently.
Oh,
what a fun time. With the witches who use words.
It's a Martha episode.
Yes. I remember that episode. Yeah.
My God.
So that's my experience with Doctor Who, is I watch it on very rare occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine. It's not the best show, but it's not the worst show. I don't hate it or
also,
anything.
can I just say, now they're making the new Doctor is a woman.
Yes.
And I'm all for that. I don't want this to come off as though
Still not going to watch it.
I'm still not going to watch it. I don't want this to come off as being like I'm anti the fact that they have a woman as the Doctor.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
What upsets me is, since David Tennant, since I was watching as a kid with my friends, we were all campaigning for the next Doctor Who to be a woman.
Yeah.
And, they want all this good publicity for doing it now. Literally, call me 8 years ago when I cared. Then it would have been like, yes, you're actually making a statement. But now it's like, why hasn't it happened already?
I really like...
Honestly.
Like a female Doctor. Hell, I'd also like a Doctor who isn't white.
Oh,
that'd be super.
Yes, especially since there's can't do it. But
James Bond is a white man, Ben.
I want Idris Elba
in the books. He's a white man.
He's fictional.
In the books, they wrote James Bond, a member of the Master Race. It's very key to his character.
Sitting at home with his armband on.
Yeah, it's
flicking through Mein Kampf again.
It's like Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a objectively a gender fluid, shape-shifting alien who always happens to be a white dude. It's just weird.
Sometimes an old white dude.
Yeah,
but always a white dude.
A lot of the time, an old white dude. Yeah.
Who has a thing for young British women.
Also,
I mean, I agree. But
that's
I really would
that's not a character flaw in any way. That's just a normal
But I would
thing.
really like if, one time he had just a random person,
one time Doctor Who turns up as a black woman and starts going on adventures with a chick from Queens.
I want a big Maori dude to go with the Doctor on his adventures.
I'd watch it.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
I'd watch that one episode a year.
Yeah.
Alright, bro.
It's just like
we're going to go save Tom from the Daleks.
It's like WWE. It's like they're making such a slight, obvious change to how they represent women in the show now, and thinking it's some big thing when they've barely even scratched the surface.
Yeah. As Phoenix, at the moment, the WWE is going through a phase where they're really, really into women's wrestling. That's great. Good for them.
Yeah.
They're promoting this pay-per-view they're doing in October called Evolution, which is their first women's-only card. So only women will be appearing on this show, and they're advertising it as the first women's-only pay-per-view in the world, except for the fact that TNA, their competition, who were considered the worst company in the world, were doing it 2 years ago.
Yeah, and
there's promotions from all over the world that are women-only. Off the top of my head, Shimmer, Stardom.
Shine,
Eve.
They're starting a TV show of indie wrestling that's, I can't remember what it's called, but it's
fucking Glow!
Glow was pretty good, hey.
Glow. But this, my problem is that they say, that, they pretend as though before 2015, women's wrestling that was taken seriously didn't actually exist. And then once Stephanie McMahon came in and decided that, we're going to actually give the women a chance, then that's when women's wrestling came into existence. When even in their company, there is history of women having more prominent positions in wrestling. In 2009, they sent the entire women's wrestling industry back so far by changing a bunch of things.
They hired one of the greatest workers of the modern... One of the guys who pioneered he was a great wrestler by the name of Dave Finlay. I love Dave Finlay because his gimmick is simple. He's Irish and he fucking hates you.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's a simple gimmick and he fucking does it well. He just walks out, he's like, cool, we're gonna wrestle, I'm gonna punch you really hard in the fucking face. That's my move. He does it. He's like, I'm gonna hit you hard. Hey, you know how I'm gonna make this elbow look real? I'm gonna do it. That's how. He taught all their women how to do a good fucking match, and it fucking showed. And then they decided, nope, Dave, you're not doing that no more.
We're changing the women's title to the Divas title.
It's a butterfly now.
Yeah. Nice. Of course.
Anyway, but we're talking about Doctor Who.
Now that we're 15 minutes into the episode, cue the theme song. What would we do with the TARDIS?
What would we do with the TARDIS?
Sorry. I was just trying to get a little preamble on us about our experience with Doctor Who, but then it got sidetracked.
Well, there's so much I want to say.
Yeah, so the Doctor uses the TARDIS to travel through time and fuck about.
Yeah.
Alright? Now, personally, there's nothing wrong with dicking about in time, but the problem with him is that he constantly fiddles with it and changes things.
Sure.
I think there's better uses for it.
Of course.
Such as, for example, starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
Travel agency.
Yeah.
Time travel agency.
Yeah.
Just offer people the holiday of a lifetime. Literally.
Does he ever travel linear, through space but not time?
Yes. No!
The TARDIS can do that.
But
when he goes to another planet, it's always like, in the year, bloody... Yeah. Why isn't it like, in the year 2018, he goes to this planet, which definitely has life on it?
Mm. Yeah. He never does that.
Never does that.
It's established that there are aliens in the current time that are capable of interstellar travel and are intelligent species.
Yes, like in the Shakespeare episode.
But
that was 200, 400 years ago.
But he never travels to those planets in the time that it is now. He never just travels space. It's always time and space.
Why is he so into England? Why does everything happen in England?
Because they can't raise the budget that high.
Because that's how he gets his fuck on.
Fair enough. He does like the British women.
For an alien to have a specific kink for a specific species and a specific area of a planet that has that species, that's a very specific kink. Infinite possible moaning.
At least it's not scat.
It's a very different Doctor.
So you would create a travel agency where people go through space and time for a price. What are you charging people?
Depends on what they want.
Space bucks,
hey?
Money. I'm charging them money.
No, but the joy, how much does it cost? Say I was like, hey Doctor, I'd like to go back in time to 1930. Mm-hmm. Just to mess around in 1930.
I would charge by the decade.
Where men were men.
I'd charge by the decade.
So if I wanted to travel 10,000 years into the future...
that's going to cost you
a lot of money, right? Per decade, how much are you charging?
How much is a flight from Sydney to, I don't know, New York?
About 1,000, 1,500.
Yeah, it's not like that.
I'd follow those similar
per decade.
Yeah.
It's pretty...
I'm not going to charge you 1,000 per decade. I'm going to charge you maybe 200 per decade.
200 per decade?
Maybe less.
Okay.
If you get in real early and you get a flight deal going.
So you're saying it's $2,000 I can travel a century back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends
I'm down for that.
It depends how far in advance you book.
Yes.
Like with planes. If I were to go to the airport now and be like, I want a flight to Melbourne right now, it'd cost me more than it would if I booked it for, say, a month away. See,
that's where time travel becomes real weird with bookings, though. Because you could say, you didn't book in advance because bloop, 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 travel back in time. And
but that's why I have a system in place. I'll get like a watch. Because I've not only got the TARDIS, I've got everything in it.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a system in there, because I've seen him use it before, where he can tell what time it is where his companions are from.
Yeah.
So he can occasionally be like, right, your family know that you're coming on these adventures with me? Cool. I'll just make sure I return you a certain amount of time later.
Would you let me make changes to history? Like,
that'll cost extra.
Say, like, go back in time and kill the man who invented the fork.
That's an under-the-table deal, and depending on what the change is, depends on the cost.
I just want there to be no modern cutlery.
You know what happens if you cause a paradox?
No.
Giant Grim Reapers.
Oh, I do know that. They're dumb. It's so dumb.
Grim Reapers come down and kill everyone.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's really dumb.
Seen that.
Rose asked...
Crazy.
Rose asked to see her dad die for some reason.
Oh, yes.
So they watched it. And he was like, right, he's been hit by the car. You can go over there and see him now.
Yeah, I do remember this.
You've missed your opportunity. She goes, I'm sorry, can I go back and try again? And he's like, yeah, but we've got to wait till we leave so that we don't interfere with our established timeline and cause a paradox. And she's like, okay. And then she just ignores him and saves her dad, which causes giant Grim Reapers to come down.
And
I don't remember the Grim Reapers, but I've definitely seen that episode, so that's just
like Space Grim
from
Reapers.
my memory.
Yeah, they're real dumb. It's really dumb.
That's the only time they ever appear as well. They never come back.
And I've actually seen that episode.
All the other paradoxes that happen in that show, and that's the only one that mattered.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you want to cause a paradox, that's your business, but it's going to cost you a little bit more under the table.
Okay, cool. What if I stopped people from discovering that eggs taste good?
Again, under the table deal.
Cool.
Any paradox, anything you want to do.
Do you charge by the paradox? Like if I go back and kill Hitler, does that cost more than if I were to go back and stop people from?
You're going to charge someone to go back and kill Hitler.
To be fair,
objectively a good move.
To be
we
fair,
don't know what happens if Hitler dies. It might be worse for the Jews.
That's actually true. I doubt it, but you might be right.
I'm fairly sure there's an episode of Doctor Who where they try to kill... There's multiples where they try to kill Hitler, and it apparently it doesn't end well for anyone.
You can't kill Hitler. He has to do it himself.
It's one of those points in time that he can't fuck with.
In Argentina.
That never made sense to me. There's some things that he just can't meddle with in time.
Oh, we could keep Shakespeare alive from the witches, but we can't kill Hitler.
The other reason he had to keep Shakespeare alive is because those witches were going to kill everyone.
That's fine.
As in, like, the entire planet.
Yeah.
Whilst that's good for you, it's good for you and me, bad in the grand scheme. Causes a paradox. But anyway.
Does it? Because I feel like it wouldn't cause a paradox, because if he was never there in the first place, that would have just happened.
Good
Time travel is dumb!
No shit, it's dumb!
Sorry, I spat a bit then.
I could also charge people to go to parallel universes, because that's a thing in Doctor Who.
I thought he couldn't do that with the TARDIS, though. That was just, like, when it screwed up.
No, he could. It's just, it was more regulated when the... Okay, so it's established that the Time Lords made it easy somehow to do that, but now that they were all gone, it was difficult. But since they're back now, it's probably easy again. So...
But would the Time Lords assist you in your endeavour to charge people to travel to
I've got a TARDIS. I just ask. I assume it's not a thing that they have to do. I assume it's a thing that, like, they do it. And, like, okay, like, they establish some kind of link way so that they can do it, but it also opens up the door a bit for me.
Ooh. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then...
Like, it's we either help everyone or no one.
Are there infinite parallel universes?
Yes.
And the thing about your idea, which is going to get into my idea for how to use the TARDIS, is that you can literally take as many people as you want every time you make a trip. And they will be instant. Like, you will be 1 second you'll go, and then you'll be back to pick up the next people and drop off the other people. It's
so
like,
all I'll be doing is just dropping people off, and then like, alright, cool, I've dropped them all off, and I'll start back again.
Yeah.
I'll limit myself to 10 at a time, because it looks...
If you look to your left, you'll see a dinosaur. There it is.
I think the TARDIS, because I don't know what it looks like currently, but the one
if you're taking 10 at a time, you would have to find 10 that want to go to the same time.
No, I could just drop them all off individually.
Fair enough.
Like,
there's literally no restraints. Like,
the idea, like the one that I'm envisioning using is the first version of Matt Smith's one for some reason.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to get too crowded.
Are there windows in the TARDIS?
But there's
you can open the door.
There's a maze. There's like an infinite maze within the TARDIS.
There's infinite space, but I don't want to fuck with that because I don't understand
so
it.
there is infinite space in it?
Inside, yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say...
It is its own universe.
Yeah.
Weird. Dumb.
But
sure.
There's like a pool. There's a fucking cliffside.
Yeah.
There's a maze.
There's an episode that's like Journey to the Center of the TARDIS or whatever, and they try to like find its core by walking through all the doors and stuff.
And they can't do it because it's true. Do they do it?
I think they do. There's another episode where Amy and Rory get stuck in the maze.
Of course.
Of
trying
the TARDIS.
To find the toilet.
No, they're trying to find...
Are there beds in the TARDIS?
Yes.
Probably.
Because Amy and Rory have one.
Right.
And they're like, can we have a normal bed? He's like, but you've got a bunk bed. And they're like, no, we want to fuck. Give us a normal bed.
Yeah, that was a weird episode, eh?
It's weird how it's in canon that Amy and Rory fucked in the TARDIS.
It's not that weird.
It's also in canon that
it's just
Matt Smith told David Tennant to not have sex in it.
Okay.
Direct quote from the 50th anniversary movie. He literally says, that Queen Liz the First. Yes. No sex in the TARDIS, remember? Yes, I remember!
Funny. That's a good gag.
That's a good gag.
I like that, actually.
Anyway. I was never comfortable with the Doctor having any relationships with any of the characters.
Nah.
Except, actually, what's her face?
Big Time Lord comes.
The Doctor's wife.
River.
Yeah, River.
Yeah, she's pretty neato.
She's cool.
Neato Pepito.
Anyway,
okay.
So what would you rate my...
I'd give you a 10. That's a great idea.
That's probably the best idea.
Yes.
My idea is kind of similar.
No, let's hear it.
But,
I reckon it's great.
I would use the TARDIS to start a moving company.
I like it.
You've stolen Ben's idea.
You've stolen my idea from a different episode.
What? Okay.
When we had to have superpowers for personal gain.
Yeah, I thought I was the one who came up with the moving company.
You were! Fuck, my bad.
Were you?
No, it was because it was Ben's idea and then I told him he should start a moving company.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just coming to the point, I'm starting to realize that maybe what I should do with my life is start a moving company because it really seems to be what I want to do.
Getting to the point. Anyway.
But yeah, infinite amount of space.
Yeah.
Instant relocation. Literally
only one trip. Don't need to do multiple.
Yep.
Don't need to rent out a whole thing for a whole day.
Exactly. It's literally a perfect idea. Although because I think it's just a fact of like the Doctor isn't very good at flying the TARDIS, but he doesn't always seem to have a good grasp on where it's going to go. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah, it's because he's shit.
Unless he's going to England.
That's what never made sense to me. And then,
but even then, he often gets the time he wants to be in wrong.
Yeah. That was the Robin Hood episode. But River, when she flies the TARDIS, she points out to him that the reason it makes the sound
broken.
Because he left the brakes on.
The literal quote is, "You left the handbrake on."
Yeah.
Why does it have a handbrake?
I don't know. I'm assuming, by the way, that in this scenario we can all operate it because if we just get the thing, then we're fucked.
Yeah,
not for my idea.
Okay, well, we'll figure that out here. But what never made sense to me about that is that it continues to make the noise for the rest of the show. Because
he's a fuckwit.
To
be fair, he does seem to have some kind of affinity for that sound.
Yeah, like when she does it, when she turns it off, he gets upset. He's like, it's supposed to make the sound.
He does flick it back off before she leaves.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, moving company.
Look, I just think, like, the joy you would bring to people, and then you don't run the risk of creating paradoxes, or maybe you do.
So long as you don't have them go to the... Like, you could even be like, oh yeah, so today's moving day? Cool, well, we'll load it up, it will take us a day to load all your shit in there, but when I go in there and we get you to the new place, I can put us back at the beginning of the day.
I would make sure.
That's the only one. That's the only time where you'd be in danger of a paradox occurring.
I personally, what I would do with it, I would make sure that I'm still operating on a linear time scale. So I would be here 1 second, and then I would go to the next place 1 second after I entered the TARDIS, and then I would go back like 2 seconds after I was here, go back to where I was, so that we don't cross back over. I would never go back in time, is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Okay, well then, fair enough.
What's your idea?
I would give that a 10.
Oh, yeah.
I'd give it like an 8.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's
not a
10.
10. It's no
Personally.
no travel agent.
Yeah.
I think it's really helpful. As a guy who's moved a lot, it'll be really helpful to be able to only need to do one trip and have infinite space to do said trip and for it to not take that long. Yeah. Like, it takes days to move.
Yeah.
I'm all for the idea of it being 1 day.
It's still going to take a lot of time to unpack, but...
Now, we have those handy-dandy, helpy people, the companions.
Sure.
Right? Now, they're on the TARDIS.
Do we get...
We don't.
Companions don't come
No,
with the TARDIS.
I'm not saying we've got them. I'm just saying in the context of the show, they've got those handy-dandy companions.
They're more the doctors.
Now, the companions got to sleep somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There's a bed.
There's
We've
a
established
bed.
that.
I feel like
now,
I don't
do
know
they
where this is
do
going.
they eat on the TARDIS? Is there food on the TARDIS?
It's unclear.
Because I would say there's definitely a farm
There's
somewhere
not.
on the TARDIS.
There's
What?
not, because he often has to go, like, whenever they're in a place, they have to go somewhere else to get food. Like, there's various episodes where he and the companions have to go somewhere to get food.
The Doctor himself doesn't know where anything is in the TARDIS. Like, in the maze
All I'm
and stuff,
saying
so I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Even if there's not, you could start a farm of some variety
that's true.
in the fucking
we
in
end
the beach area.
overpopulation. Okay?
Yeah.
We just we
right,
randomly select 50% of the planet's population.
Yeah.
And
Possibly
they
by
live
some kind of
in the
They
TARDIS.
live in the TARDIS, infinite space,
And there's a beach.
presumably
like
infinite beds.
Yeah.
A beach, beach is super cool. We just move them all into the TARDIS and they live there from then on.
Yeah.
And if they want to go out and visit their families, they can. Because we just keep it in one spot, they open the door, they go out, they see their family, and they come back in.
They just live there. Yeah. This is not only a good idea, like, for a business, but you're not even charging people, because I don't think people would pay to live in the TARDIS.
I mean, I would. How much is rent?
0.
Why?
So you're not going to charge me? Then I'd take
Phoenix is in the business of making the world a better place.
Yeah, they don't need to pay rent. It's not like it's taking anything from me.
Yeah.
It's no effort on my part. They just have to get a room.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's actually a bit sus that the Doctor doesn't do this just in the show if he's such a good guy. You know?
He's not a good guy, he's a prick.
Exactly.
I think we did an episode.
That's what
on that.
makes the Doctor such an interesting and complex character.
That he's a prick. Anyway.
So we make it just like a big place where everyone can stay so that the world can not be as bad as it's getting.
Yeah.
Think about how much less damage to the environment will be done if half the people are gone.
What happens to, like, all the rubbish that you've got?
Infinite space, what do you mean? Just goes wherever it goes.
Okay. Well then...
Well, but this is
There's gotta be an infinite garbage spot,
I don't think...
Chuck it in the maze.
But, like, you'd need to find a spot where no one else is.
The problem with the idea is that you're going to have to set up an entire infrastructure for a planet.
Sure.
Essentially, within the TARDIS.
Yeah.
I've seen the TARDIS. Its corridors are not big enough to contain, say, a garbage truck to collect the bins, or cars to get around.
Right.
It's not...
You can have, like, a golf cart.
It's not like, oh, you want to go? Cool.
That's true.
The door's just there. It's more, you want to go? You've got to walk. Like, it's infinite space.
Yeah.
Which means, like, It's not space bending. You've got to walk where you want to go. It's not fine if you live at the back of the fucking line.
No, those are where the lonely people go.
Yeah, the people who don't want to leave.
Yeah. I'm sure there are people who move their whole families in there. They don't have to leave the TARDIS.
You could just collect all the rubbish, like, because the further you go out into like the extended system of the TARDIS, the more complex this arrangement gets. You could just collect all the rubbish and then teleport to the sun and throw it.
That's also true.
Whilst I do think it's a good idea, I just know that what's going to happen is stuff like social revolutions, and political revolutions. You're going to cause anarchy in that place.
It's 50% of the population.
Whilst I agree that it is a great idea to help the planet a lot, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
Or we take them all, 3.5, move them to a new planet.
I mean, that's literally.
Again, it'll just cause the same problems.
Then the infrastructure has to be built. Is the disadvantage?
Yeah, that's true.
The infrastructure is going to be built now.
The TARDIS already exists. Like, you don't need to build shelter for people.
Yeah, but you do need to set up systems. Like,
yeah,
he's got to set up a system of government.
People will do that themselves.
Yeah. People have been doing that themselves for thousands of years.
Yeah, and it's been going so well.
No, but why would it go any better if I built it?
Yeah.
Fair point.
That's actually a very good point.
I'd give you a 10.
Yeah!
I'm giving it a solid 9. 9.5 maybe.
Okay, so Ben wins, but I think that we all did very well.
Yeah, I think we all did really well. We all found better uses for the TARDIS than travelling space and time and fucking bitches.
And half of this episode was not about the topic.
It's not about the topic.
That's fine.
That's alright.
I mean, I could go and give you another one I've just come up with if you want.
Oh god, sure, give it to us.
Yeah, go.
Brothel.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Like an alien brothel?
Just, no, whatever brothel. Whatever you want, I can get it.
Yeah. Like an alien.
You want to go back in time, you want to, I could become a time pimp.
Oh,
you want to go back in time and bone any, you want to have a crack at Marilyn Monroe? Yeah, right, mate. $50.
But here's the thing, right? Like,
best. Give it your best.
You're getting into the business of bothering people.
Yeah? So? Not my problem!
Yeah.
Fuck bitches, make money.
I mean, if you're a good pimp, then this is a fine.
It's less than I'm a pimp and more than I'm like, what's that?
You want to sleep with a person who's got the plague? I've got the machine for you.
It's essentially my travel agency idea, but refined to fucking.
Right, yeah.
Because it's going to come down to, you want to have I'm not going to set up, if this person's going to fuck you, I'm going to be like, you want to go back in time and have a go at trying to convince this person to sleep with you?
You want to be with Helena Troy? Go for it.
Good luck. Give me my money, I'll drop you off, I'll be back in 20 minutes for you.
And Cleopatra used to kill people who had sex with her, right?
Worth it. Now I'm travelling back.
I've often wondered, why would you, she'd offer people that bargain, I will fuck you, but you will die at the end of this.
Because she was a goddess.
Yeah, literally,
That's right, yeah, pharaohs were gods.
Forgot
about that.
That is the peak of humanity, feeling so good about yourself that you can create that bargain with people and people will accept.
I guess she's a goddess, I'll die for it, yeah. Let's give that a go.
I will give people multiple opportunities at that.
Imagine being like Mark Antony or Julius Caesar, though, who did that and they lived.
No wonder Caesar was so full of himself. He fucked God! He fucked God and lived!
Yeah, but then Mark Antony stole his woman.
Still fucked God and
lived.
lived.
They were still best friends, though.
Can you blame them?
Nice. I'm
happy. I fucked God, you fucked God, we're gods!
I believe they had a war against each other, but after the war, they were all on good terms. And then when Julius Caesar was getting stabbed to death, apparently Mark Antony was trying to stop it and people were holding him back.
Oh. Well, with all that in mind, I've been the creator of Time Travel Agency.
I've invented the most efficient moving company possible.
And I have given millions upon billions of people a new home.
What's weird about this episode is we didn't once touch on the fact that we could we have conclusive proof in Doctor Who that Satan is real.
Oh, he goes to hell, right?
He goes to visit Satan on one occasion, and there's also a Satan that was from the time. There's a lot of Satans.
He goes somewhere.
It's so dumb.
I remember he goes somewhere.
He goes to this room.
There's a big, like, lava stuff.
It's Satan. No, it's not lava. It's Satan.
Yeah, see, you know what that reminds me of?
To contact Phoenix and Ben, email them at fromahatpodcast@gmail.com or go to our Facebook or Twitter. Links are in the description.